All right. I think we're good.
Awesome.
Does that look good? Okay. So as I was saying, I'll do this really quick now because I'm out of time. But Mr. Vogt, he'll talk to that more to the Planning Commission. You'll see following the executive summary my comments, and I'll go over my comments. I only have a few items to note of concern, and then I'll review the staff concerns and the engineering concerns that follow. You'll see in your packet that he's supplied the application and paid the fee for the review, as well as there's been added the response comments from Chick-fil-A to the earlier review that had come to the city in this matter, and then you'll see the drawings thereafter. So that's what you have. I also do have sign detail imagery. I was thinking of sharing, but with how complicated things are, I may not. I don't think I'll be able to share because obviously it looks like this is the feed that goes to that TV. So now that I think about it, you'll just have to. Maybe I'll pull it up at least and try to indicate what I can, or let Mr. Vogt talk about it. But that was part of it. That's on the table. I guess the biggest thing to know is that with this remodel and redevelopment, there will be an updated sign package element that will be added to the building. So, and with that, I think since we're out of time, I will defer to you, Vice Chair, for a further discussion or direction in the last minute or two we have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eggett. Do any commissioners have any discretionary items? If not, then we should probably adjourn to the regular meeting. Is everybody ready for the regular meeting? All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Riverdale City Planning Commission for Tuesday, May 11th. I'd like to show all the commissioners are present with the exception of Chairman Spires. And is Rick here, Mike?
Yes. Yes,
And
he is joining us.
okay, so all that's missing is Commissioner Spires, correct?
And Commissioner
And
Anderson.
And Commissioner Anderson, who are excused. My apologies. Public comment. Are there any members of the public present?
There's nobody that I see here
Nope.
present. Shaylee,
Okay,
have you
since-
received anything?
And I have not received any emails, and from what I can see on the YouTube, there's no comments on the YouTube either.
Yeah, I don't see
Okay,
anything.
okay, since there's no public comment, we'll press on to presentations or reports. Mr. Eggett.
Thank you. Just obviously to follow up to those of you who maybe didn't join us during the work session, our city recorder has accepted a job with our police department, working with them. So she will assist us in training a new recorder. We do have, from what I've been told, a handful of interviewees that will be starting interviews on Monday with. So that's all I feel comfortable saying at this point. But I will be hopefully a part of that and get a weigh in and do my best to try to bring someone of Shaylee's caliber to our mix. So so she'll be missed, and we appreciate her helping us over the, what has it now been, Shaylee, year and a half, 2 years? What has it been?
2 years in July.
That's what I was thinking, about 2 years. Yeah. So we do appreciate your service to us. And hopefully you'll do a little bit of double duty to help the new person get his or her legs under them and get going. It's a big job, isn't it? So we appreciate her. The other thing I did note, Cafe Rio and the Mobetas is moving along very well. Raising Cane's is getting close to hopefully moving forward, and then we are hoping that the road connections into that area and the utilities will be coming forth thereafter. I did note that there will be a site plan submittal coming in the near future to the Planning Commission, and I'll bring that forward, as well as there's other prospective development ideas coming in multiple areas of the city that are on large and small scale. We're very busy right now as far as administratively, and I think the Planning Commission, you'll see that coming to fruition here in the next couple weeks, probably a month out at most. You'll start to see some things coming with some new phases of development. So with that, I think at that point, that's all I have, and defer to the commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eggett. Consent items. Do any commissioners have any change to the consent items? Then a motion is in order.
I make a motion that we approve the consent items.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
Commission,
Aye.
there's actually no consent items. I apologize. There's no
I just saw that, Mr. Eggett. Thank you. All right. Technology. Okay, action items. Consideration of conditional use permit request for AmeriCarpet's carpet and flooring sales dealership use located at approximately 4122 South Riverdale Road, Riverdale, Utah. 84405 as requested by applicant Clifton Buckway. Mr. Eggett.
Thank you. Just want to note that even though applicant has been Clifton Buckway throughout the process, it's the entire Buckway family that is interested in this request. They are also represented by Carter Randall, who's been helping them to basically close the deal on the purchase of this building, and this conditional use permit is part of that process. But yeah, AmeriCarpets, is the applicant. They're looking to do a carpet and flooring business sales use in the existing John Paris furniture building at 4122 South Riverdale Road. It's located in the community commercial C2 zone, which per the C2 zone, and with its adjacency to the apartment residential complex to the east, requires there to be a conditional use review for all uses that would typically be a C3 permitted use in the C3 zone. So that's why it's before the Planning Commission. Planning Commissioners, you are the decision-making body this evening for this type of request, and as part of that, you're trying to see if adequate health, safety, and welfare concerns have been addressed or met or exceeded as part of this request, both to the benefit and welfare of the neighboring residential use as well as even some of the neighboring business uses as part of this request. So with that, you'll see in your packet under Title 10 Ordinance Guidelines, Basis for Review of Conditional Use Permit, A through G articles. I would direct you to look through those and make sure you feel comfortable with those as you look at your decision making on this. And if there's anything supported or not supported in your decision making, you can always use those items A through G as some guidance on findings of fact to support your decision in this whatever ultimate direction you want to head with that decision on that. So general plan for this area is planned commercial high. I did note in the work session, and I'll note briefly again, more briefly, the public works director has a comment here where he says, I think if you go look at the site, it clearly meets the review items you mentioned in the previous email. The dumpster currently sits next to the east fence, which is next to the residential units. In the past, garbage out of the dumpster is stuck in the fence and blows onto the neighboring residential. It is also an eyesore for the residents next door. Usually carpet places have really messy dumpsters due to all of the scraps. I'm sure if we can do something, the residents next door would appreciate it. Thanks. So just to want to get that on the record. That's a concern he had that may or may not be warranted by items A through G, but you're the decision-making entity on that. Otherwise, the fire department has showed no concerns. The police have showed no concerns, and I did not receive anything from the city administrator. You'll see following this, the application and how they'll use the site, the payment for it, and then a small map just indicating where the John Paris Furniture Building sits in relationship to Riverdale Road. And with that, I would defer to the Planning Commission and or if you have any questions for the applicant group or like them to share their vision with you, that would be in order as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Eggett. Do any commissioners have any questions for that?
Yeah, I have a question to either one of the Buckways. As Mr. Eggett said about the concern about trash and the fence, are you guys planning on putting up a privacy fence or anything there to just kind of screen yourself away from the residential area?
Yeah, so if we could put in some screening in the fence, that would help. That's what we plan to do. Slats that would go in the fence.
He put his hand up.
Any additional questions, commissioners?
Just kind of a question and comment, Dan, based on what you said during the planning, the work meeting. It sounds like rather than having a commercial dumpster, you're going to do like a dumpster, enclosed dumpster trailer that you'll put all your scraps and pieces in, and then make frequent trips to the dump with those as you are doing now. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Anybody else? If there's no further questions, the motion is in order.
I make a motion that we approve the conditional use permit request from AmeriCarpets Flooring Sales Dealership at approximately 4122 South Riverdale Road, requested by applicant Clifton Buckway.
I second it.
Shayla, can you pull the commissioners?
Commissioner Knight,
Aye.
Commissioner DeMar,
Aye.
Commissioner Wingfield,
Aye.
Commissioner Herman,
Aye.
Commissioner Jones.
Aye.
The motion passes. Congratulations. Action item number 2, consideration to forward recommendation to City Council regarding an amended site plan request for the Chick-fil-A restaurant located at approximately 4067 South Riverdale Road, Riverdale, Utah 84405, as requested by Chick-fil-A Restaurants and Merrick Engineering Group. Mr. Eggett.
Thank you. And the representation is Logan Vogt on behalf of Merrick. He is with us this evening here and answering any questions you may have for him. As noted in the work session, this is a review of their existing restaurant with drive-through facilities located at 4067 South Riverdale Road and adjacency to RC Willie. It's located in the regional commercial C3 zone. They're also doing a remodel of the existing building, adding some more square footage to it, which is part of the site plan amendment. And also they're adding, updating signage and some of the exterior of the building. So that is what's on the table this evening. There's no public hearing requirement for this, and the ownership is Chick-fil-A Inc. Let's see if there's anything else. General plan usage for the area says planned commercial high, and this continues to support that use. So I'm going to move into my review comments for the site plan amendment. And just note the few things that I've highlighted in yellow. This is more for Mr. Vogt's knowledge, but also the Planning Commission's awareness. The first item being just that neighboring tract ownership names and tax ID aren't shown or provided. I just need some calculations on the landscaping percentage to make sure that the landscaping that's being provided, even though a lot of it's being removed, it still meets or exceeds the requirement of 20% for the site with the site plan amendment change. That's something that probably could easily be updated with some kind of calculation table we usually see. So if I get some guidance there on that, that would be good on an updated submittal. I didn't see any proposed on-site lighting devices, like any new ones. I'm not sure if they're planned. That may be just because there aren't any. I did see existing, but I just want to make sure with the new drive aisles that appropriate lighting is where it needs to be if there are additional lighting structures. Any updated material structure for the structure, texture, color, appearance isn't provided. But if any of that stuff was a change, like a coloration to the exterior of the building, obviously the signage is being changed, which is kind of ticking in the direction of a design review committee, and the landscaping is a little bit. But if the structure itself is having some coloration changes, we will for sure need to go through a design review committee review as well for this building. And those need to be done before going to city council. So if that is something that Chick-fil-A is looking at doing with changing the exterior, that is something that will need to be completed sooner than later. And Mr. Vogt can contact me to get that set up. let's see, I just have on here proposed landscape screening not shown or identified along the Riverdale Road edge of site plan area to screen lights and traffic from impacting Riverdale Road. Just some kind of either a landscaping indication or even indication of what the screening is. Now, I know it's kind of down low, and maybe that's sufficient, and maybe the hill sloping up, you could argue, is a berm because the vehicles are lower and Riverdale Road's up higher, right? But even a note saying as much on the plans showing how that screening is being provided would be helpful in addressing that, so that I can indicate to the public and obviously planning commission, or to come back to planning commission or city council, that screening is provided. Again, on-site proposed light poles and equipment not shown. Existing water meter size, location, and type not identified. Existing location of telephone boxes and new telephone utility lines, poles, associated manholes not shown. The gutter inlet boxes just need to have a note saying bicycle safe grates somewhere, either on a detail or somewhere on the drawings where the gutter inlet boxes are identified. And then I don't know if this is applicable. This is something the applicant will need to vet with the Public Works Department to make sure water rights are provided for the site. I would think that probably not going to be provided because it's already existing. But I would direct the applicant to contact Mr. Douglas, our Public Works Director, just to verify that. Those are my comments on that. Moving on to the Public Works Director comments. Under stormwater, he says some of the typical stuff, that the drainage operation and maintenance plan and BMPs approved and recorded with plat. So the document that addresses how that maintenance plan will go forward with the upgraded detention structure that's recorded with the plat. Notice of intent filed with the state for the detention structure. Note to certify detention structure size after construction. Existing detention system will need to be checked for sediment and cleaned if necessary. So there's one in place that just needs to be verified that it's not dirty and it's been maintained, he's saying. Underwater, show backflow preventer location and type. And then he just wants some broad notes about construction and materials meeting the city standards, and a note that says all missing, non-functioning, or damaged surface improvements will be replaced relative to the sidewalk, curb and gutter, fencing, etc. Police has no concerns. Fire have no issues or concerns, and our city administrator has no concerns. Moving on to the engineering report and review. This has also been provided to Mr. Vogt as part of this packet. Again, some broad notes from the engineer. Some items that are noted in the geotechnical report. He wants to be able to be highlighted on the final drawing so that the contractor is taking those seriously. Some comments about pavement design and road base, asphalt materials, etc., and details associated with that need to be on the drawings. Moving to stormwater, talking about some stormwater requirements relative to the existing facility, and documentation that's needed to show that existing utility, kind of what Mr. Douglas has said, has been maintained or cleaned or brought up to as if it's new for use, is what it shows like. It seems like he's asking for there. He does say further storage and management for the 80th percentile storm is required along with, and he talks about ways to accomplish that. So he's saying that there needs to be ways to add more stormwater volume where you're getting more impervious surface with more asphalt lanes. You're going to have more water that's wanting to sheet flow, and it needs to be captured at a larger percentile. He's talking about the soil percolation values for stormwaters and the pond infiltration time required. Cross-section for the above-ground detention basins to be submitted for review. Orifice structure box need to provide that a maintenance worker does not have to reach underwater to resolve blockage to the orifice. Orifice structure box will need to be large enough for a maintenance person to safely enter and work. So that seems a reasonable comment there. And then he says stormwater maintenance plan need to be developed and shown on the plan submitted for review. And then obviously, like Mr. Douglas has said, that will need to be recorded with the plat for the property. Item 4, existing water supply pipeline to the dumpster area will need to be removed. And item 5, show the location of a backflow device for the site landscaping and call it specifications and provide a detailed drawing. So matching what Mr. Douglas has said to that comment. Those are only comments that existed from our engineer. See the application thereafter, the payment, and then review comments that have been responded to by the applicant group on behalf of Chick-fil-A back to April 2nd when they first submitted for this site plan amendment. Following that, you'll see the design drawings. And again, if you want to review signage or at least some commentary, I was hoping to share the signage, but I forget that this is set up to work with the feed, so I won't do that for this portion. But just know that there is also a signage update anticipated for the site. And with that, that's all I have. I would defer to the Planning Commission for any questions, comments, or even if you want a little bit of guidance from Mr. Vogt and some of his comments, I'll let you go that direction. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Eggett. Any questions, comments, concerns about the planning commission to the applicant?
I will note that if for some reason, and I'm not directing just like we always do, but if for some reason you do recommend this move forward, that all outstanding staff concerns be resolved. That's the only thing I would ask if that's the direction you feel like you want to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eggett. If anybody has no questions, comments, or concerns, then a motion is in order.
I make a motion that we forward to the City Council a recommendation to approve the Chick-fil-A amended site plan proposal for location approximately 4067 South Riverdale Road. With that recommendation that before it goes to the City Council, that all staff concerns have been addressed.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second.
Shaylee, will you poll the commissioners, please?
Yes. Commissioner Jones?
Aye.
Commissioner Herman?
Aye.
Commissioner Wingfield?
Aye.
Commissioner DeMar?
Aye.
Commissioner Nye?
Aye.
Congratulations, the motion passes. Discretionary items. Do any commissioners have any discretionary items they would like to bring up?
Yeah, I'd just like to personally thank Shaylee for all that she's done for the Planning Commission. And you'll be missed, but I know you'll do a good job for the police department. So congratulations on that side of it. And thanks for everything you've done.
Thank you.
I'd like to echo what Blair said. Thanks a lot, Shaylee.
Yep, we definitely will miss you. Come back and see us often.
I will for sure see you too. But I'll come back and see you guys.
Mike, can I ask, what are they doing with the Lucky Buffet old building?
Well, that's an interesting question. Let me think about how to say this. We have a new restaurant user in there, but they failed to get the appropriate building permit submittals to make some changes that they've made inside their building, so they've received a stop work notice until they can resolve their outstanding issues. How's that?
Okay. Nothing will come before us before they move in?
No, it's just a site remodel inside. There's no structural changes.
Okay. And the Dutch Brothers Coffee Place, where are we at on that? I don't see any construction.
The applicant has been having a hard time getting water rights for the site. They think they've acquired water rights. It seems to be that they've resolved their outstanding administrative issues. They just need to come pick up the plat and record it. Once they do that, then the building permit's ready to go, and that will be issued soon thereafter.
Okay, and the buildings that was not tore down when the old Best Buy, is there work order for that to be done?
Those will need to be demolished as well. I'm not sure why the owners haven't done that yet, but that is forthcoming, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I guess the motion is in order to adjourn.
Motion that we adjourn.
We both want. Aye. Second it. Go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you all. Good night.